Egypt before the pharaohs, but not according to archaeologists. Ra, according to legend, ascended to heaven, and Osiris became pharaoh of Egypt with Isis, and they built Thebes. This is according to ancient Greek Plutarch. Have you ever thought of pre-pharaonic Egypt and its rulers, but not according to scholars? Then we'll see that Egypt was like what was like before pharaohs, based on ancient texts written many, many years ago. In ancient Egypt, before the first mortal pharaoh, Menes-Narmer, ruled the lands of Egypt, there were other kings or deities in particular, quote, those who came from above, who ruled over this earth, end quote. And this time, pre-pharaonic Egypt remains a great mystery to most Egyptologists because they cannot accept what's written in ancient texts because they go directly against the beliefs of most historians, archaeologists, and Egyptologists. The time before 3000 BC, the date when the first pharaoh appeared in Egypt, is a great enigma. It's no secret that the ancient Egyptians considered their civilization as the inheritance of the gods, quote unquote, who were not natives, nor did they come from another part of the earth, but came from elsewhere, quote unquote, particularly from space. Pre-pharaonic Egypt seems to support this theory. One of the most important ancient texts that tells us more about history is the Papyrus of Turin, which lists the pharaohs who ruled ancient Egypt. Not only does it include all the official historical pharaohs of ancient Egypt, but it also mentions gods or deities who came from above, meaning from the skies, who landed in Egypt before the first mortal pharaoh of Egypt, with a genealogy that spreads over 13,000 years. There's that magic number again, 13,000. And that's at the time of the Clovis comet, the Younger Dryas period. That's at the time of the sinking of Atlantis, according to Plato and Plutarch. Now, scholars considered this ancient text to be pure myth, and most of its details have been overlooked and omitted from history books. According to English Egyptologist Toby Wilkinson, he says, they do not seem to have ancestors or periods of development. They appear to have appeared during the night. So there are some scholars who believe that by calculating the information obtained from the Turin Papyrus, it's referred to as the Kingdom of Ptah, Ptah, who is the creator of the first rulers of ancient Egypt, dating back 39,000 years. Egyptology and historiography teaches us that the pre-dynastic era is considered a myth without much historical value. However, the Palermo Stele is another incredible ancient text that mentions the pre-dynastic rulers of ancient Egypt, which also refers to the Egyptian god Horus, who had a natural ruler of ancient Egypt thousands of years ago. Another Egyptian god, Thoth, which we call the Atlantean, and he's supposedly credited for the Emerald Tablets, and you'll find a playlist that I've made for you to see what kind of tremendously advanced ancient technology they had. And so another god, Thoth the Atlantean, is said to have reigned in the lands of ancient Egypt from 8,670 to 7,100 BC. That is 1,170 years that he reigned. It's interesting that the Egyptian high priest Menetho, who had access to unlimited ancient texts from the ancient library of Alexandria, Egypt, and who wrote about Pharaoh, the ancient history of ancient Egypt, in 30 volumes, refers to the divine beings who ruled during pro-pharaoto, meaning pro-pharaohs, pre-pharaohs. So if you look at today's Egyptologists, you will find that they also use the dating of Manetho as a very reliable tool in the study, but for some reason the Egyptologists themselves decided to avoid anything related to prehistoric dynasties, carefully choosing the details that suits them and rejecting anything that does not fit their point of view. So we can trace the leaders of Egypt of the very distant past to a series of ancient, quote-unquote, basic lists. The royal lists of Abydos, for example, located in the wall of the Temple of Seti I, offers a chronological order of the 76 rulers. Now, we know that Abydos is this Temple of Seti I is very famous for its hieroglyphs of the helicopters, jet airplanes, hovercrafts, tanks, cars, various vehicles and vessels that we know that we have today, but obviously for them to be there, they were used at that time. And one of the pharaohs of Egypt, called Nectanebo, who destroyed various temples in Egypt, said that this temple was not to be destroyed because of the fact that this is where the overlords of Egypt originally landed, in Abydos. But going back to the article. So, the Temple of Seti in Abydos, chronological order of 76 rulers. In addition, the royal list of Karnak, located in the Louvre Museum, has 61 rulers from Mene to Thutmose III. And these two lists offer us a tradition of Upper Egypt. The royal list of Saqqara shows 47 kings before and among others Ramesses II. In its original state, the papyrus must have been a beautiful model, as the script is extremely good. It contains the names of kings, over 300 kings, with the duration of each reign in years, months, and days. The final version of the papyrus has not yet been made, as further study is expected to have more results. The papyrus begins, like that of Menethil, the high priests of Egypt, with the dynasties of the gods, followed by mortal kings. The layout of the papyrus is very similar to that of Menethil's epitome. Menethil provides us with many interesting details about the so-called divine, quote-unquote, leaders of ancient Egypt and their dynasties, which he divides into three different categories. 1 is the gods, 2 is the heroes, and 3 is the mothers. But many other works, such as Eusebius, the bishop of Caesarea in Palestine, and Syngelus, speak of a number of gods who ruled the earth for a total of 3,600 years. After this era came the mortal pharaohs of ancient Egypt. Who then were those who came from above, from the heavens, and ruled Egypt more than 36,000 years ago, and some of them for over 1,500 years, as namely Thoth. So this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.